Hello, this is Wandering Dancer. I'm here to read tarot for you and to continue the lesson in reading a natal astrological chart, the lesson we began last week. Right now the moon is waning. It is just past full, and so it's that egg shape that we call the gibbous moon, and right now it is in the sign of Taurus. So that's a very careful, creative, slow and cautious sign for the moon to be in, but also very comfortable. The moon in Taurus does very nicely and creates beautiful, comfortable, well-made, well-thought-out things. So if you had any projects that you made progress on today, it could have been the influence of that moon. So the cards we have this week are King of Cups as the present card, 4 coins as the past, and the Emperor as the future. So the King of Cups is a gentle soul, but somebody who's quite mature, who has gone through a lot, learned a great deal, and who has the desire to help others around them. Now, if he gets into a foul mood, he can be very selfish and very crabby. But for the most part, this is the King and the Queen, both of Cups, love to help people. They want to be there for you and to bring you onto the boat with them. Recent past, now recently what we've seen is some monetary gain, but very modest. Probably in the way of savings, where I know for myself this has been true in that I've been more careful with timing the bills. That alone will save you money because you don't face fees and etc. So I'm making sure that the accounts are in good place. That's the kind of energy that the 4 of coins can relate. Can also relate to being stingy or selfish about money, feeling that you feel like you own money, but in fact you don't. It simply passes through your life. Upcoming, the future card is the Emperor. This is a Welsh deck, the Llewellyn deck, so this is Bran the Blessed, who is an historical character from Wales. The Emperor is somebody beyond king, somebody who unites kingdoms together to form a nation. This is a person of great determination. This is a lot of strong energy with pulling people together to work together, sometimes whether they not want to or not. If they don't get their way, Emperor types tend to be a bit tyrannical. So if you find yourself feeling that things aren't going your way, take a step back and try to think of the best leader that you know of, and how did they manage when things didn't go their way. There's the reading for this week. Now let's look at the astrological chart. This was last week's chart that we looked at when we were talking about the basics. I'm going to move this over to weight it down. The basic first things to look at on a chart: the sun sign, the most important thing. Where is the sun? The sun is in Virgo. The second most important thing is the moon. The moon was in Aquarius last week. And then the horizon line here, sunrise, sunset, sunrise being the more important of the two. As it affects an individual, it creates your personality. It creates, this is what imprints on you. This is what organizes your life. The sign that's coming up over the eastern horizon, where each of the houses falls out and where each of the signs lands in those houses and the planets. So that was the basic lesson from last week, and I'm going to take this one off now. We'll look at the one that's current. So you see the sun, remember the sun symbol. The sun is still in the sign of Virgo, but what we're going to look at this week is, well, what's Virgo? Virgo belongs to Mercury. Where's Mercury? So at the time of this chart, this week, 17th, the sun being in Virgo means that Mercury has more power than almost any of the other planets at this time, because Mercury rules, quote unquote, rules the sign of Virgo. They resemble one another. This is the practical side of Mercury, where Mercury is more servile and more dedicated to details and practicality. Now, because this is the end of summer, and we're just coming up on the beginning of autumn, that's the autumn equinox, that line right there. When you come to the end of a season, you need to kind of get things wrapped up and start preparing for the next season. So Virgo wraps up summer, and that means how well did the harvest go? How did your plantings turn out? This is definitely a time when you start trying to figure out how well did we do, and how much do we have to go through until we get to the harvest time next year. So this is a sign of accounting. And Mercury is the planet that facilitates that. Now the moon has moved into the sign of Taurus, which is a very comfortable moon sign. Taurus is extremely creative and when motivated. And the moon in Taurus likes to create a very comfortable place, very comfortable and well-built place to rest and relax. So both Virgo and Taurus are earth signs. So on this chart, we would say we have an earth-centric chart. We have two earth signs represented, and actually, begging your pardon, we have 3, because the rising sign at the time of this chart was Capricorn, which is also an earth sign. So this is a triple earth chart. So with Capricorn rising, the planet that rules Capricorn is Saturn, and Saturn is in Capricorn right now, so he is at home. This makes him a very potent player on this particular chart. The other important player on this particular chart is the Sun is in the 9th house, Virgo Sun in the 9th house. The 9th house is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is in his home sign of Sagittarius, so he's also playing straight up. This is this rules the chart reading. So this is going to be no, wait, that would be Saturn. So you have a Virgo Sun, but this Virgo Sun is in the house that belongs to Jupiter, which makes this Virgo a little bit easier going, a little bit more adventuresome, and perhaps enjoying more foreign things. Those things all belong to Jupiter. The chart itself being ruled by Saturn because Capricorn is rising, triple Earth. This chart is going to be, if this was an individual, this chart would be extremely practical, not easily moved. But once they decide to move, everything will move. So there you have it. The big 3, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, and the next big 3. Where the Sun, what house the Sun is in, what rules the sign the Sun is in, and what rules the sign that's rising. If you're starting to study astrology, if you're just starting, the thing to learn first are the signs themselves. So let's go over those. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and the very last sign is Pisces, the sea. Everything runs to the sea. So all the signs collected together end up in Pisces. So let's take another look. I think next week we'll start talking about aspects and houses. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the crystal ball. See what you see. If there are any images or thoughts that come to mind, if there's something that fascinates you. You think you catch something like, oh, what was that? Oh, you know, that reminded me of. Those, pay attention to those. Those are thoughts that have been trying to come to your mind, and you might have been too something, too embarrassed, too distracted, too anxious, too discouraged to notice them. But pay attention now. All right. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next week. Be well.